Good morning. Recording is in progress. You are being recorded this very moment. So be careful. Be careful what you may say or do. But remember, you are who you are. You, with a capital Y, are who you are and will forever remain. You've heard me say before that the only job of a guru is to spell the word. Gee, you are you. We like to keep it simple here. We like to bring it down to the most simple expression of truth. You are who you are, forever and forever. Trust that. Rely upon that. Not who you think you are. You can let that go. You are who you are. The truth of who you are is unchangeable, eternal, has nothing to do with the body or even your intellect. Nothing. It exists and lives and reigns even beyond all of that. All we need to do is to remember that truth. So with that being said, I'm going to just dive right into our parable of the day because it reflects exactly that lesson. It had been 2 weeks since anyone had seen Krishna. He walked away from the ashram 2 days after his 20th birthday and was never seen again. The community was heavy with concern, all except Mother, who went about her days as if nothing was wrong. The next morning, she asked that every soul living or working at the ashram meet her at the top of a small hill overlooking the nearby town, the roofs gleaming in the rising sun. When they were finally together, she smiled and said, "Krishna will be Krishna. There's no need to worry." "But what if something has happened to him?" a woman asked. "He has been gone for so long." "Krishna will be Krishna," Mother interrupted. "Let me tell you a story about another Krishna, one that I think you'll recognize. This should assure you that our friend will be fine. Long ago in the ancient city of Mathura, there lived a divine being known as Lord Krishna. He was the 8th avatar of Lord Vishnu, the preserver of the universe. From the moment of his birth, Krishna's life was marked by miraculous deeds and divine interventions. One such event occurred when Krishna was just a newborn. His uncle, the tyrannical king Kamsa, was determined to end Krishna's life, fearing a prophecy that foretold his downfall at the hands of the divine child. Kamsa ordered the execution of every infant born around the same time as Krishna, hoping to eliminate the threat to his rule. But the infant Krishna was spirited away from Mathura to the safety of the pastoral village of Vrindavan. Hopefully I had that right. Where he grew up among the cowherds and the gopis. Despite Kamsa's relentless pursuit, Krishna remained unharmed, protected by the divine forces that watched over him. As Krishna grew older, he eventually returned to Mathura and to confront King Kamsa and to fulfill his destiny. In a series of epic values, Krishna vanquished Kamsa and liberated the city from his tyranny, restoring peace and justice to the land. My dear friends, just as Lord Krishna escaped the clutches of death and fulfilled his divine purpose, so too shall our beloved Krishna emerge unscathed from whatever trials may befall him. trust in the guiding hand of destiny. For Krishna is Krishna, and there's no need to worry. With these words, Mother's companions felt reassured, their faith in Krishna's safety restored. And as they returned to their daily lives, they carried with them the comforting knowledge that their friend would soon return, just as the divine Krishna had done in ages past. The next morning, Krishna stepped through the ashram gates. Mother was waiting for him there, and he fell into her arms. Krishna will be Krishna, and you will be you. We just have to trust that, don't we? That the truth of who you are will overwhelm all of the ideas and illusions that we have held until now. There's no need to worry. There's no need to be concerned that I'm going to get lost in the maze of this strange identity that I've created to hide from reality. Because Krishna will be Krishna. The Christ will be the Christ. The light will be the light. It's such a simple, basic little teaching, but I think it says so much when we just simply receive that without any interruption, without any question, without any judgment. The truth of who you are is forever the truth of who you are. Isn't that simple? Isn't that easy? That's what we try and do here every day, is we try to distill the truth so that it becomes ever more evident and practical even. Practical in our daily lives. What is the most practical thing we can do is let everyone just be who they are. Even when they seem to show up as something other than they are, just know Krishna will be Krishna. The Christ will be the Christ. Time doesn't matter, even if it takes 3,000 years. The Christ is still the Christ. And our responsibility is just to see that, to witness that. And of course, the more we see and witness that, the more we speed up the recovery into that reality. So just remember, you will be you forever. There's nothing you need to do to become who you are. You are the perfect, whole creation of a perfectly whole Creator. Complete and healed and whole, shining in the reflection of love itself. Just trust that. And then you'll realize that Krishna is Krishna. There's no need to worry. So that's kind of a short lesson, but hopefully it makes an input, an impact, an input. So Vicky, I'm going to turn it over to you, and we're just going to allow Vicky to be Vicky. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Brother James. Good morning, everybody. I love you all. And of course, it's another Holy Silent Wednesday. And so what I hear from that parallel is if we let it be, if we let everything just be and not resist it. And that, of course, non-resistance is a basic premise, a basic principle of allowing what is to effortlessly emerge. We're so busy fixing and prodding and problem solving and changing, and all of those are forms of resistance to what simply is. So on Wednesday, we practice being what we are by resting into it quietly without any resistance. It's almost like the day to be like the angels. We're just resting in presence and shining with awareness of who we are and of what and who all of life is. We rest into it with no resistance. Let it come, let it go. Let ourselves, if we erupt or not, so what? It's back to so what? It's like, if we don't resist the big eruption. Yesterday, I went to get my car tuned up. Tuned up was supposed to be, change the tires, rotate the tires, change the oil, $120. Then they say, oh, it's $1,000. And I said, how did it turn into $1,000? And I erupted. What, don't you include this, new filter, new this, new that? No, they don't include any of that. Oh, I said, that's too bad. But I erupted. I said, oh no. And I could feel myself like, well, and then I said, well, so what? It's like, so what? And what I've learned is when in doubt, don't. Just rest a minute. Rest a minute. So I said, I'll be back. You just do my little whatever 120 covered. And I gave him a few other things to do. And I'll be back. I don't know what to do right this minute. But I just sat there and said, oh, this shook me up. $1,000 bill when I expected 100 shook me up for a moment. And I had to go back and sit in the room, in the waiting room, which was very pleasant, and rest again into spirit. Just rest. And I'm telling you, it's only green strips of paper. Why would that shake me up so much? And I said, okay, don't resist it. Just go with it. And I did. And I just let it be. And isn't that the lesson for everything? And on Wednesday, we get to practice that. It's like the angels and the beauty and the thoughts of God that are love, whether we call them angels or whatever, they are resting in our presence, showering us with love. All of a sudden, when we take a day of quiet, we can become part of that orchestration, part of that symphony, part of that song, singing, let it all be. Love is what we are. There's nothing that can cover it up except our resistance, and it only covers it up for ourselves. So once we stop covering it up, once I went in the waiting room and just rested a minute, the shakes kind of fell away. And I said, okay, I get what they're saying. It's okay. I'm glad they are looking out for my best interest and my car's best interest. That's wonderful of them. And I'll just take it. And so I did a few things, and I'll wait on a few things to the next visit. But it wasn't a moment of resistance anymore. It was a moment of awareness, of acceptance, of, okay, I'll let even my shakes be. Like, I'll let it be until they simmer down. Because what's underneath me is that everlasting security and presence of what sustains all of us but the love of God. And if it sustains us, it's exactly what we are. And the only way to tune into it is let everything be, including ourselves, and learning, tenderness. So tenderness with myself, tenderness with the eruptions, whatever they are, Carolyn's voice, or, $1,000 bill, or whatever it is. Somebody says something or pokes you in the nose. Oh, that was a surprise. Let's let it be for a moment. And that's a way that love is the answer, no matter the problem. Love is acceptance. It's non-resistance of what is and what seems to be. When what seems to be meets with acceptance, there's no more energy sustaining the appearance, so the appearance can melt away. And what really is there is the love that already we are, that we're now seeing in everything around us. Do you guys remember, or did you ever know the Buddha game? James, did you know the Buddha game? Did you ever play that?
No. What is the booty game? It sounds very interesting.
It is. It's the Buddha game. And Teddy and I learned it when we were on our honeymoon in Hawaii with Michael.
Are you sure this is appropriate? The booty game that you learned on your honeymoon. I'm not sure.
The Buddha game. So
I thought you said booty game.
Oh no, like Buddha over there, big Buddha.
Oh.
Big Buddha. So this is
That makes a lot more sense. Okay.
So everyone blindfolds themselves. Everyone's eyes are blindfolded. And one person is the Buddha. So one person is the Buddha, and his job is to simply be present and be the presence of love. So Buddha just stands there quietly, doesn't say a word, doesn't try to get anybody to recognize him or change anybody from whatever they're doing. And everybody else is looking for the Buddha. They're looking everywhere and they're bumping into people. Remember, they're all blindfolded and they're shaking. And the only thing you can say is, are you the Buddha? And when you touch someone and you shake them, oh, here's a person, here's the lamp pole, here's whatever. Are you the Buddha? And if you're not the Buddha, you say, no, I'm not the Buddha, sorry. And you hear a lot of chatter, no, I'm not the Buddha. And everybody's bumping into each other and they're shaking and they're all looking desperately, where is this Buddha? But when you find the Buddha doesn't answer. The Buddha is silent. The Buddha is the presence. And what you get to do is hold the Buddha's hand and you become silent. Now there are two Buddhas. And that continues around the room while everyone's bumping and talking and shaking each other until you find another person finds, oh, one of these two Buddhas, are you the Buddha? And you too are silent. And that person holds your hand. And now you have three holding hands in silence. And that goes on until the entire room has bumped into one of the Buddhas and found the peace of God, the peace of being, the peace of not resisting, the peace of quietly resting in the joy of simple, simple presence until the whole room is absolutely silent. Are you the Buddha? That's all we're asked to do. We know we're the Buddha. We know we're the Christ. We know each other is only that. We know the ants and the trees and the leaves. It's all the life of light and love. When we are joined with it, without resistance, without questioning it, without figuring it out, we open to the stillness and to this. It's like an orchestration and sound and music that isn't of the human ear, that's of the soul. And we start moving to it and enjoying it. We're here to be the love, joy, light, laughter of God's presence because we are that. There was no presence without us. So when we go around, are you this? Are you that? What is this? What is that? We're going to keep bumping into more noise. When we finally hit a place that doesn't respond, no resistance, but with what? Welcome and acceptance, holding out our hand and accepting. Of course, that's what you are. No need to say it, just be it. That's what we do here every day. We're being it. We're holding hands in this gracious silence of celebration. It's a celebration to be who we are and to know it. We can all be who we are, but until we know, we don't get to enjoy it. So here we are, holding hands, knowing the presence, the power, the joy, the gift of not resisting anything, welcoming everything, resting quietly into it and letting this presence discern who will stand beside us on this side, on that side, until all of the appearances, all of the beings that seem to be dancing around dream sequences get quieted down enough to enjoy the simple presence of love guiding us, giving to us, and we giving back. So that's the Buddha game, guys. Thanks for playing it with me. Thank you, James.
Thank you, Vicky. I love that. In fact, I think we should play that Vicky, when you are here for our retreat in May, which I'll give another little plug for because it is almost full. So any of you in Zoom or YouTube land, if you do want to join us from May 9th to 12th and really get to experience the Namaste experience, please just send an email to namaste.lakechapala@gmail.com and we'll get you on the list. And I love that I'm glad it's Buddha game and not booty game. I was a little bit worried there for a second, but yes, it just goes to show that every crisis that we think we encounter becomes an experience of Christ is by just adding that T. Do you see that? Instead of crisis, Christ, add the T, is. And suddenly, everything becomes fuel for the awakening. Everything we experience, the good, the bad, the difficult, the challenging, the wondrous, is all fuel for the remembering and the awakening into the experience of Krishna will be Krishna, the Christ will be the Christ, you will be you forever, uninterrupted. There's nothing you need to do, but there is a lot that you need to claim. And the way that you claim it is by giving it away, by playing the Buddha game. So, that being said, we say together, Amen, Amen, Amen y punto. Thank you, everyone. Have a brilliant, beautiful day. We'll see you tomorrow. Everyone's afraid to unmute themselves.
See you tomorrow. I love you.
Goodbye now.
See, no one's